Welcome to Smart Questions. This is where, as a team, we take challenges that have come up from conversations we've had with clients in the last few days, and we explore some of the key salient points from it. It's not all about what the textbooks would say, and we won't necessarily come up with all of the whole range of solutions, but the idea is that we cover enough that there's at least a good takeaway that you can have that will help you to address that particular challenge or question that has come up. So we hope you find it useful. Welcome to Smart Questions. I'm here with Louise Blunt. So Louise, what question have we got this week?
Well, the question we've got this week is, how do I manage or communicate a price rise effectively?
Quite a topical question at the minute with all the, well, we're all on the receiving end of this a lot, I think, at the minute. So what does that make us think of then, Louise?
Well, I have to say the first thing I think of is don't be afraid of price rises. Don't be afraid of increasing your prices. I mean, sometimes we think that by increasing prices, we'll just lose a load of custom. And I think you've put together a really good tutorial that is available that really shows how that is not the case and what the negative effects of price rises. So first and foremost, don't be afraid of increasing your prices. But the second important thing for me is know your why. Never put up prices just because you can. Understand the why.
Yeah. All right. So, yes, we know, just pick up on your first point, we know, don't we, that actually very few people will leave a company because of a price rise. It's much more likely that they leave because they feel they're not loved and all of those good things. So if we're looking after our customers well, doing a good job, then exactly we shouldn't be afraid of that price rise. And don't apologize for it. Is that what you said?
Well, I didn't actually say that, but that's part of my makeup too. If you have a good why, okay. So if you have a good reason for putting up your prices, so I mean there are lots of good reasons at the moment. Think through the level of price increase that you genuinely need. So understand the numbers. What do you actually need to basically, in a situation like this where prices are going through the roof, need to maintain where you need to be? So understand that why. And then when you've worked that out, don't be afraid, and don't apologize for the need to do it, because you ought to be able to explain why. And if you've got a really good why, then, and you are, as you just said, you're looking after your customers correctly, and they love you for what you do, and they really love your product and your service and how you are, then a very good why will encourage people to stay with you. It means that they'll look at it and they'll go, yes, Kevin's doing a really good job for me, and I kind of understand that. Yep, I can see the value in needing to pay that extra price increase, even if I don't particularly like the idea.
And how often should we examine our prices and think about whether we should be increasing them?
Well, it's really interesting because I personally am not a fan of the annual price increase.
Yep.
I think we should be thinking about it certainly on an annual basis, but that's thinking about it from the point of view of, how efficient are we being? Where are we with our pricing? What is part of our makeup? How have our costs changed? Yep. And I'm going to say changed, not increased, because actually, we also need to be thinking about efficiencies within the business. How can we bring efficiencies into it? Just because prices of your inputs are going up doesn't mean to say you have to keep piling the price increases out. Look at what you can do within your business to see, and it kind of, so on an annual basis, look at that. It kind of forces you to think, where can I be more efficient?
Okay. And it's something you were saying at the beginning about about the model. I'm not going to go into the detail of that, but all of our businesses are incredibly sensitive to price and the costs that go in at that level, at our direct cost of production or something. So, what do we what's sort of a typical profit margin? A lot of us are working to a net profit of what, 10 to 15%, something like that. If we're
some people would give their eye teeth for that.
Yeah, exactly. So some people are operating less than that. One or two fortunate people might be on more, but let's say 10 to 15%. You give a 10% discount across the board, or you have a 10% rise in your direct costs of producing something, you've wiped out all of your profit.
Essentially,
because it flows straight through the bottom line. But potentially, and we've had the example with one of our clients of a relatively small price increase has led to a significant increase in their or could lead to a significant increase in their bottom line. So it's something we need to be really careful of. So you mentioned on the frequency of looking at it, and I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Is doing it on a regular basis, so you are examining it, not leaving it 10 years, which
we have had examples of that recently, haven't we? Yeah, I think the thing to do is we must look regularly at our cost base and make sure that we know exactly where we are with our numbers, and then it's your decision whether you put prices up or not. It may well be that you make the decision that because you've been a little bit more efficient, you can afford not to put your prices up quite so much. That might make you more attractive to more customers. Alternatively, you've got to think of, just because you are more efficient doesn't mean to say you should give that away. That's your, that's your secret, if you like, of how you can deliver and what your competitive advantage is. So understanding your numbers is absolutely critical. And then it's your decision. Don't necessarily go for I have an annual price increase on. Yeah. Review them regularly. But, price increases should be implemented when you think there is a good reason to do it. Yep. And you think you can sell that effectively to your customers.
Okay. And what about example where we're just about to develop some new wonderful features? Maybe it's we've got a software product and we've got a new version coming out, or maybe simply we've got something new in a service that's coming out. Should we leave the price rise until we've got those and try and bundle it in, being you've got all these new wonderful stuff and therefore increasing the pricing, or should we do it in advance? What do you think there, Louise?
Absolutely not. In terms of should we wait and bundle it all up and then put the price increase in? Absolutely not, because you're offering new services, new tools, new products to the market, and the market needs to pay for that. So if you are thinking of putting a price increase through, it should go through before you change the model substantially, because essentially it applies to that original model. If you are then augmenting the system and doing extra things, there should be potentially, unless, of course, if we go back to the efficiency thing, unless there's a good reason not to, you should. I would never basically go for a price increase when we're updating something. Partly because there's always that temptation, isn't there, for people to say, well, actually, I don't want the extra functionality, so I'll stick where I am and I want the same price. Yeah. And then you're goosed.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. And there's also sometimes the price increase can be held in reserve for encouraging your customers to do something that you might actually want them to do. So, for example, a lot of us maybe don't have our customers on long-term contracts or maybe on a recurring revenue model of regular payments. Sometimes we can use the price increase to grandfather people, can't we, and give them that option of, okay, if you go on to a 3-year contract, then we'll keep the price. Our prices are going up, but if you want to keep it locked in, then maybe sign up for a 3-year contract, if that works within our pricing model.
Yes, I think the other side to this, of course, and this is a whole new conversation, which is know your customers.
Right.
Whether your customers, how they will respond and react. But if you have a good why, I certainly wouldn't cherry pick and say, well, somebody can have such and such a price increase and somebody can have such and such a price increase and somebody can have nothing at all. If your costs are going up and you genuinely need to maintain your margins, you need to have the courage to go for that.
Good. All right. So I think what we've said is essentially, don't be afraid of putting your prices up. Think it through, though, carefully before you do it, and the different permutations, and review your pricing and your costs within your pricing on a regular basis. Don't leave it too long.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Sounds like a good summary to me.
Thank you very much, Louise. Great stuff. Hope you found that useful and you've got at least 1 or 2 takeaways, things that you can do differently and implement within your business. If you enjoyed that, why not come along to our Scale Up Club? Just give us a bell. It's online. Doesn't matter where you are. You can join us once a month. And why not think about getting a copy of my book, The Entrepreneurial Scale Up System, full of practical ideas and solutions to helping you on your scale up journey.